Hi everybody, this is Perfume Coast, so welcome to my channel. My today's podcast is all about new 2025 release by Simone Andreoli, which is called Apricot Innocence. So without further ado, let's jump into the ocean of perfumes, and also, as always, let's take a dive into the notes that Fragrantica is listing. So basically what we're dealing here with is a cluster of notes consisting of apricots, orange, exotic fruits, asmanthus, nectar, white musk, amber, jasmine sambac and rose. So I've been testing this perfume for the past few days and certainly I have some thoughts. So the opening is this clean translucent impression of a ripened sweet but not sugary sweet yellow almost orange color apricot. If I can, describe it in not so many words, I can literally smell the texture of an apricot skin, which is velvety and slightly tart and also a bit bitterish. The fruit itself, again, is a very ripe impression, and at one point I can detect a bit of decay fruit dimension. But that one is not overpowering at all, but rather it highlights the realistic imagery of our natural apricot. If I have to drill down into this touch of decay fruit impression, I can single out two themes basically. One of them may be this pickled dill impression that's slightly sweet, if such thing exists at all, of course. And the other part is even more odd because it may come across as a bit of, cat pee impression. But again, strangely enough, neither of these two sub-themes, so to speak, come to a forefront. They're detectable, in fact, only if I really start to decipher that decay fruit impression that vastly contributes, however, to the realistic impression of a yellow, ripened apricot fruit. Alternatively, chances are our apricot would have probably been a lot more synthetic, as the case may be, because apricot scents are, of course, by definition, products of synthesized process, and they're quite hard to replicate, in fact. Which is probably why we do not see an awful lot of apricot-forward perfumes, at least not well-made ones. Also, this decay fruit dimension is what gives this fragrance a truly niche translation, making the scent more rich, elevated and complex. But back to the overall impression. This ripened apricot is again moderately sweet and translucent territory. It also has lots of green faucets and undertones. However, ambery base present here is exactly what grounds this perfume's longevity and also somewhat glues together all the elements described earlier. Overall, very pleasant and elegant twist on most realistic apricot, giving off basically both fruit's velvety skin and ripened fruit itself. Overall, I have to say that Simone Andreoli's USP or unique selling point has always been this ability to reconstruct most realistic fruit-forward impressions. One of my absolute favorites would be Vicebomb, this brilliant replica of sweet boozy cherry jam, or perhaps another one would be Sunplosion, a delicious imagery of tropical fruit salad featuring most realistic mango, papaya and coconut. And of course my beloved Malibu Party in the Bay being this photorealistic imagery of limey mojito with a good dose of coconut cream. So please do not miss a chance to put your nose on this brilliant, unique release that delivers both basically straightforward natural apricot and also a good deal of uniqueness and complexity, which is probably why this one is not at all a safe blind buy. But that's it, guys. This wraps up this quick podcast. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing and sharing your comments, of course. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.